Drummerly.com Unlimited Drama Series.
Nothing says happy family like your wife and mother getting wine drunk on boxed Merlot before the cake is cut. I'm Tom Grady, 41 years old, IT project manager, and currently watching my life implode in slow motion at my daughter's first birthday party. Zoe's sitting in her high chair, cake smeared across her chubby cheeks, completely oblivious to the disaster unfolding around her. Meanwhile, my wife Elise is holding court by the kitchen island, her voice getting louder with each glass of wine. She's 38, works in PR, and has that practiced smile that could sell ice to penguins. Right now, though, that smile is slipping. Kelly, you have no idea, Elise slurs to her best friend, a gossipy woman who treats other people's business like her personal entertainment network. Tom thinks he's such a devoted father. I'm standing maybe 10 feet away, pretending to clean up wrapping paper, while my stomach starts doing gymnastics. Something about her tone makes my skin crawl. What do you mean? Kelly asks, leaning in with that hungry look she gets when she smells drama. My mother, Evelyn, joins their little circle. At 65, she's never met an opinion she couldn't share or a son she couldn't criticize. Tom's always been too soft, she declares, swaying slightly. Never had the backbone for real responsibility. That's just it, Elise continues, and I freeze completely. He doesn't even know the truth about Zoe. The room suddenly feels like it's underwater. Every sound becomes muffled, except for my wife's voice, which cuts through everything like a rusty knife. I used Dave's sperm, she announces casually, like she's discussing the weather. My ex-husband's, had it stored before he died. Tom's just a co-parent, not the real father. Nobody knows, but Zoe's really Dave's baby. Now there was a man who knew how to take charge. Kelly gasps dramatically. My mother just nods approvingly. And me? I stand there holding a piece of torn wrapping paper, feeling like someone just reached into my chest and rearranged my organs. Elise, you didn't, Kelly whispers, but she's grinning like Christmas morning. Oh, I did. Tom never questioned it. Poor guy probably couldn't get me pregnant if he tried for a decade. Dave managed it even from beyond the grave. She laughs, actually laughs, while my world collapses around me. I look at Zoe, this little girl I've been up with at 3 in the morning, whose diapers I've changed, whose first steps I celebrated. She's not mine. She never was. The smart thing would be to confront them right here, right now. Make a scene, demand answers. But you know what? Sometimes the smart thing is also the stupid thing. Instead, I smile, wave at a few neighbors, and start planning my exit strategy. Tom, honey, Elise calls out sweetly. Can you get more wine from the basement? Sure thing, sweetheart, I reply, my voice somehow staying steady. Whatever you need. What she needs is a reality check, but she's about to get something much worse. I spend the rest of the party on autopilot, playing the devoted husband and father, while mentally cataloging everything I need to take with me. Not much, as it turns out. Most of this stuff was bought with money I earned, but I'm not interested in fighting over furniture. I want something much more valuable. I want revenge. By 9 o'clock, the last guest stumbles out the door. Elise is passed out on the couch, still in her party dress, makeup smeared. My mother went home an hour ago after giving me one final lecture about stepping up as a man. If only she knew how much stepping I was about to do. I pack quietly. One suitcase, my laptop, important documents, and Zoe's favorite stuffed elephant. She's sleeping peacefully in her crib, completely innocent in all this. I kiss her forehead gently. I'm sorry, little one, I whisper. This isn't about you. Before I leave, I do one small thing. I take the birth certificate from our filing cabinet, the one with my name listed as father, and carefully white out every letter of Thomas Grady. Then I leave it on Elise's pillow with a simple note. Thanks for clearing that up, Nis the co-parent. My phone starts buzzing before I even reach my car. 57 text messages by the time I get to the motel. I read every single one, and each message makes me angrier than the last. Tom, where are you? This is ridiculous. Come home. You're overreacting. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Tom, answer me right now. You can't just abandon your family. Fine, be a child about it. I'm calling the police. Tom, please, we need to talk. The last message arrives at 2:47 a.m. I'm sorry, please come home. Zoe needs her daddy. I turn off the phone and go to sleep. Tomorrow, the real fun begins. 3 days later, I'm sitting in the office of Mr. Karp, family attorney, whose personality is as dry as week-old toast, but whose legal mind is sharp as a scalpel. I've laid out everything: the paternity fraud, the public humiliation, the years of deception. This is quite unusual, Karp says, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses. Paternity fraud isn't commonly prosecuted, but we have grounds for civil action. The emotional distress, financial damages, fraudulent misrepresentation. I want everything, I tell him. Every dollar I spent on that child, every sleepless night, every birthday present. And I want it public. Karp nods slowly. We'll need DNA evidence, of course, and documentation of your financial contributions. Do you have receipts for? I have spreadsheets, I interrupt. I track everything. Every diaper, every bottle, every doctor's visit. $43,712 over the past year. Impressive record keeping. I'm in IT. We document everything. By the time I leave Karp's office, the wheels are in motion. Elise is about to discover that her soft husband has some very sharp teeth. My phone has been buzzing constantly, but I'm not answering Elise's calls. Instead, I'm getting interesting calls from other people, like Carla, Zoe's nanny, who's been watching this whole drama unfold. Mr. Tom, she says in her thick accent, I need to tell you something. Mrs. Elise, she had many visitors when you were traveling for work. What kind of visitors? A man, Brandon. He comes twice a week, sometimes stays overnight. And your mother, she knows. She even brought them groceries once. Brandon Holt, I know that name. Elise's business consultant, a personal trainer who looks like he was carved out of protein powder and steroids. 39 years old, drives a BMW, and apparently has been consulting on more than just business. Carla, would you be willing to testify to this? For you, Mr. Tom? Of course, you are a good man. They treat you very bad. The pieces are falling into place beautifully. But Elise isn't going down without a fight. I'm walking out of the grocery store when her black SUV comes screaming around the corner. For a split second, I think she's just driving erratically. Then I see her face through the windshield, twisted with rage, and I realize she's aiming right for me. I dive left, but not fast enough. The SUV clips my right leg and sends me spinning into a parked car. Pain explodes through my body as I hit the asphalt, but I'm conscious enough to see Elise slam on the brakes, look back at me with something that might be regret or panic, then speed away. Someone call 911, a woman screams, as I'm lying there waiting for the ambulance, staring up at the gray sky. I can't help but laugh. It hurts like hell, but I laugh anyway. You know it's over when your wife tries to turn you into roadkill in a supermarket parking lot. The hospital is a blur of x-rays and paperwork. Broken ribs, bruised kidney, road rash that makes me look like I went 10 rounds with a cheese grater. But I'm alive, and more importantly, I'm angry. Detective Lyle shows up around hour 3. He's a thin, sharp-eyed man who looks like he's seen every kind of human stupidity imaginable. Mr. Grady, your wife says this was an accident, says she didn't see you. Detective, she was looking right at me when she floored it. And I've got about 20 witnesses who saw her brake, look back, then drive away. We'll investigate. Do you want to press charges? Assault with a deadly weapon sounds about right. Lyle nods. We'll need a statement. And Mr. Grady? You might want to stay somewhere she can't find you for a while. As if on cue, Elise bursts through the hospital room door, tears streaming down her face, playing the role of devastated wife to perfection. Behind her are my mother, Kelly, and Brandon himself, looking uncomfortable in his expensive workout clothes. Tom, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Elise wails, reaching for me. I pull back. Don't touch me. It was an accident. I didn't see you. Funny, because I saw you. We made eye contact right before you hit the gas. My mother steps forward, her face pinched with disapproval. Tom, stop being dramatic. Elise is devastated. She loves you. Mom, she tried to kill me. Don't exaggerate. It was clearly an accident. I look at this woman who gave birth to me, who's supposed to be on my side, and I see nothing but judgment and disappointment. She's chosen Elise over her own son. Get out, I say quietly. Tom, Elise starts. Get out, I roar, loud enough that nurses come running. All of you, get the hell out. Security escorts them from the room, but not before Brandon gives me a look that's pure contempt. This steroid-enhanced pretty boy thinks he's won something. He has no idea what's coming. Detective Lyle returns an hour later with news that makes my day considerably brighter. We're arresting your wife for assault with a deadly weapon. The witnesses were very clear about what they saw. She'll be processed and released on bail, but there will be charges. What about my daughter? Child Services will place her temporarily with a relative. Your mother-in-law has been contacted. Perfect. Judith, Elise's ice-cold mother who treats everyone like they're beneath her notice. At least Zoe will be safe, even if she's not exactly in loving hands. As Detective Lyle leaves, my lawyer Mr. Karp arrives with news that makes my broken ribs feel almost worth it. Tom, I've been doing some digging. Your wife and this Brandon character have been planning something. My investigator found text messages between them, discussing how to frame you for domestic abuse. Fake photos, manufactured evidence, witness coaching. They were going to destroy your reputation and take everything. I lean back in my hospital bed, staring at the ceiling tiles, and smile for the first time in days. Mr. Karp, I think it's time we went on the offensive. What did you have in mind? I want to destroy them, completely, legally, socially, professionally. I want them to understand what it feels like to have your whole life built on lies. Karp adjusts his glasses. That's quite an aggressive approach. They started this war when they decided to make me a fool. Now they're going to learn what happens when you underestimate the quiet guy. Getting out of the hospital feels like being released from prison, except prison would probably have better food. My ribs are taped up, I'm walking with a limp, and I look like I lost a fight with a meat grinder. But I'm free, I'm angry, and I have a plan. First stop, Brandon's gym. Elite Fitness on Maple Street, where the beautiful people go to maintain their beautiful bodies and their ugly personalities. I'm not going in to work out. I'm going in to gather intelligence. Big Mike, the gym manager, turns out to be a gold mine of information. He's a former bouncer who looks like he could bench press a small car, but he's got the soul of a gossip columnist. Brandon's been bragging about some married woman he's been seeing, Mike tells me as we sit in his office. Says she's loaded, gonna leave her husband soon. Real piece of work, that guy. Been skimming money from the personal training fees too. Skimming how? Charges clients for sessions, pockets half the money, reports the rest. Been doing it for months. I've been documenting everything, waiting for the right time to nail him. What would it take to make that the right time? Mike grins. You got something in mind? I might. You interested in getting rid of a problem employee? Brandon's been a pain in my ass since day one. You give me ammunition, I'll fire the cannon. I like Mike. He's straightforward, honest, and clearly enjoys the idea of watching Brandon crash and burn. We're going to get along just fine. Next stop, Elise's workplace, Hartwell and Associates, a mid-sized PR firm where Elise has been climbing the corporate ladder by stepping on anyone who gets in her way. Her boss, Miss Fenn, is a uptight woman in her 50s who runs the place like a military operation. I don't go in person. Instead, I send an anonymous email with some very interesting attachments. Photos of Elise and Brandon at a hotel during work hours, time-stamped and dated. Credit card receipts showing company money spent on personal expenses, and a detailed breakdown of every business lunch that was actually a romantic rendezvous. The email includes a simple message. Thought you should know what your employee does on company time with company money. Phase 2 of my plan involves someone I never thought I'd be talking to. Dirty Dale, a local blogger who runs a gossip website called Suburban Secrets. He's a weaselly little man who lives for scandal and pays cash for information. Tom Grady, he says when I call. I heard about your wife trying to turn you into roadkill. That's some serious drama right there. Dale, how would you like exclusive access to a story that involves adultery, fraud, and attempted murder? I'm listening. I've got documentation, photos, witness statements, and police reports. Everything you need to write the story of the year. What do you want in return? I want them destroyed, publicly, completely, and permanently. Now you're speaking my language. The story goes live at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Local PR exec and trainer caught in fraud and adultery scandal. Spreads through social media like wildfire. By Thursday morning, Everyone in town knows that Elise Grady and Brandon Holt are cheaters, liars, and possibly criminals. But I'm not done yet. Friday afternoon, I show up at Elise's office building with a sign that reads Hartwell and Associates, where cheaters prosper, and start walking in circles on the public sidewalk. It's completely legal and completely humiliating for everyone involved. Miss Fenn comes out personally to confront me. Mr. Grady, you need to leave immediately. I'm on a public sidewalk, ma'am. First Amendment and all that. This is harassment. This is truth-telling. Your employee tried to murder me, defrauded me for years, and used company resources to fund her affair. I'm just making sure people know what kind of business you run. A crowd is gathering. People with phones, taking pictures, posting to social media. Miss Fenn's face is getting redder by the minute. Elise has been terminated, she finally admits. Please just go. See how easy that was? Truth has a way of working things out. I fold up my sign and walk away, leaving Miss Fenn standing there looking like she just swallowed a live fish. Saturday morning, I'm at Elite Fitness with a gym bag and a plan. Brandon's teaching a spinning class.
It was one time at the company retreat.
Your coworker posted a photo. You're wearing this shirt.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
Showing off for a room full of middle-aged women who think he's God's gift to physical fitness. I wait until the class is over, then approach him in the parking lot. He's walking to his precious BMW, the one he probably bought with stolen gym money. Brandon, we need to talk. He turns around, sees me, and his face hardens. Tom, heard you had a little accident. Accident? Is that what we're calling attempted murder now? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. Just like you know about the money you've been stealing from the gym, and the company funds Elise spent on your little love nest. His hand clenches into a fist. You need to walk away, old man. Or what? You'll hit a guy with broken ribs? That would look great on video. I hold up my phone, which has been recording this entire conversation. You're pathetic, Brandon snarls. Maybe, but I'm not a thief. I walk over to his BMW and pour the contents of my gym bag all over the hood. Chocolate protein powder, mixed with water to create a thick, brown sludge that looks exactly like what you'd expect it to look like. What the hell are you doing? Giving your car the same treatment you gave my marriage, covering it in shit. Brandon lunges at me, but I'm ready. I step aside and let him slip on the protein sludge, sending him sprawling across the asphalt in front of a dozen gym members who've come out to watch the show. Careful there, champ. Wouldn't want you to have an accident. I'm live streaming the whole thing to Dirty Dale's website. Within an hour. Cheating trainer slips on karma, has 10,000 views. But the best part comes Monday morning, when Big Mike calls to tell me that Brandon has been fired. The gym is pressing charges for theft, and his personal training certification is under review. You beautiful bastard, Mike laughs. He's finished in this town. Mike, we're just getting started. The call comes at 3:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. My sister Patty, sobbing into the phone, trying to tell me that mom collapsed at home, and the paramedics couldn't revive her. Heart attack, sudden and massive. She's gone. I sit in my motel room, staring at the wall, trying to feel something other than numb. My mother, who chose my cheating wife over her own son, who enabled the lies that destroyed my marriage, is dead. I should be devastated. Instead, I feel empty. The funeral is a circus. Elise shows up in black, playing the grieving daughter-in-law, dabbing at her eyes with tissues while whispering to anyone who will listen about how poor Tom has lost his way. She's brought Brandon as her date, which takes balls the size of bowling balls. I'm standing by the casket, trying to say goodbye to a woman who never really understood me, when Elise approaches with her fake sympathy face. Tom, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your mother loved you so much. Did she? Because the last time I saw her, she was taking your side after you tried to run me down. She just wanted us to work things out, for Zoe's sake. Zoe isn't mine, remember? You made that very clear. People are starting to stare. Good, let them hear this. I was drunk. I didn't mean. You meant every word, just like you meant to steal my money, my time, and my love for a child who isn't even mine. Brandon steps forward, trying to look threatening in his funeral suit. Tom, show some respect. This is your mother's funeral. You're right, Brandon. This is my mother's funeral. So what the hell are you doing here? I'm supporting Elise through a difficult time. You're supporting her the same way you supported her through our marriage. With your dick. The crowd gasps. Patty grabs my arm, trying to pull me away, but I'm not done. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce, loud enough for the whole funeral home to hear, I'd like you all to meet Brandon Holt, personal trainer, thief, and the man who's been screwing my wife for the past 2 years. And this lovely woman in black is Elise, who used her dead ex-husband's sperm to get pregnant, then let me believe the baby was mine for over a year. The silence is deafening. You could hear a pin drop in the next county. Tom, stop, Patty pleads. Why? They didn't stop when they were destroying my life. Mom didn't stop when she chose their lies over her own son's truth. Why should I stop now? Elise is crying real tears now, not the fake ones she was using for show. Brandon looks like he wants to disappear into the funeral home carpet. Your mother just wanted what was best for everyone, Elise whispers. My mother wanted what was easiest for everyone. There's a difference. I walk out of that funeral home and never look back. Some bridges are meant to be burned. 3 weeks later, Patty calls with news that makes everything worse. Tom, we need to talk. It's about Mom's will. We meet at a coffee shop downtown, and Patty looks like she hasn't slept in days. Mom left everything to Elise, she says quietly. The house, the savings account, everything. There's a note saying she wanted to make sure Zoe was provided for. Zoe, who isn't even her biological granddaughter. Mom didn't know that when she wrote the will. Yes, she did. She knew everything, Patty. She was part of the deception from the beginning. I pull out a folder of documents that Mr. Karp helped me obtain. Bank records, phone logs, emails. The evidence of my mother's involvement in the fraud goes back years. She helped Elise set up the sperm bank arrangements. She was there when the paperwork was signed. She knew Dave was the father, and she helped cover it up because she thought he was a better man than me. Patty stares at the papers, her face going pale. I don't understand. Why would she do this? Because she never thought I was good enough. Not for Elise, not for fatherhood, not for anything. She'd rather live with lies than admit her son might actually be worth something. Tom, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry, Patty. Be angry. They stole from both of us. But the hits keep coming. A week later, I get a call that makes me question everything I thought I knew about justice. Mr. Grady? This is Detective Lyle. I have some news about your assault case. Please tell me you're calling to say Elise is going to prison. Actually, the DA is dropping the charges. Your wife's attorney provided evidence that you've been harassing her, stalking her, and making threats. They're claiming self-defense. Self-defense. She tried to run me down in a parking lot. I know, and I believe you. But her lawyer has photos of you at her workplace with protest signs, videos of you confronting her boyfriend, and witness statements saying you've been following her. All of that was legal. I never threatened anyone. I know, but it's enough to create reasonable doubt. I'm sorry, Tom. Sometimes the system fails good people. I hang up the phone and scream until my throat is raw. They're going to get away with it. All of it. The fraud, the assault, the years of lies. They're going to walk away free while I'm left with nothing. That's when I realize something important. The system might have failed me, but I haven't failed yet. If the law won't give me justice, I'll have to create my own. 6 months of planning, 6 months of careful preparation, documentation, and strategic positioning. Now it's time for the finale, and I'm going to make sure it's spectacular. The plan starts with Brandon's housewarming party. He's moved into a fancy place on the north side of town, probably bought with stolen gym money and whatever he's been getting from Elise. He's invited half the town, including local politicians, business owners, and social media influencers. Perfect. I arrive at the party as a catering assistant. Fake mustache, different clothes, clipboard in hand. Nobody looks twice at the help, which is exactly what I'm counting on. While Brandon's showing off his new home theater system to a crowd of admirers, I'm in his office, plugging a USB drive into his computer. The drive contains a very special video I've been working on for months. It's a compilation of security footage from the gym, showing Brandon stealing money, audio recordings of him bragging about his affairs, and his own social media posts that contradict the lies he's been telling everyone. But the centerpiece is a deepfake video I created using AI software, showing Brandon confessing to everything in his own voice. The technology isn't perfect, but it's good enough to be convincing, especially to a crowd of drunk party guests who aren't looking for technical flaws. At 9:30 p.m., right when the party is at its peak, I activate the video remotely. Every screen in the house suddenly displays Brandon's confession. The main TV, the computer monitors, even the smart refrigerator in the kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, fake Brandon announces, I have something to tell you all. I've been stealing money from Elite Fitness for over a year. I've been having an affair with a married woman whose husband I helped frame for domestic abuse, and I've been lying to everyone about who I really am. The party goes silent. Then someone screams. Then chaos. Brandon is frantically trying to turn off the screens, but I've locked him out of his own system. The video keeps playing, detailing every crime, every lie, every betrayal. Guests are pulling out their phones, recording everything, posting it to social media in real time. This isn't me, Brandon shouts. Someone hacked my system. But the damage is done. The video looks real enough, and combined with all the actual evidence I've been leaking for months, it's the final nail in his coffin. I slip out through the kitchen while Brandon's world collapses around him. Phase 1 complete. Phase 2 happens the next morning. Elise, panicked by Brandon's public humiliation, tries to run. She loads her car with suitcases and heads for the highway, probably planning to disappear somewhere until the heat dies down. What she doesn't know is that I've been tracking her car with a GPS device I planted weeks ago. I know exactly where she's going, her sister's house in Colorado, where she thinks she can hide until this all blows over. I follow her at a distance, waiting for the perfect moment. It comes when she stops for gas at a station just outside the city limits. While she's inside paying, I approach her car and do something beautifully simple. I call the police and report a drunk driver. Yes, officer, there's a woman in a black SUV, license plate. I give them all the details. She's swerving all over the road, nearly hit 3 cars. She just pulled into the gas station on Route 9. Elise comes out of the store to find 2 police cruisers waiting for her. She's stone sober, but she's also driving with a suspended license from her assault charge, and her car is packed with what looks like evidence of fleeing prosecution. The cops are very interested in why she's leaving town so suddenly, especially when they find the cash hidden in her spare tire. $40,000 in small bills, which looks exactly like money from drug dealing or other criminal activity. It's not drug money, of course. It's the money she embezzled from her PR firm, plus the cash she withdrew from our joint accounts before I could freeze them. But the cops don't know that, and Elise can't explain where it came from without admitting to other crimes. She spends the night in jail while I drive home, whistling. Phase 3 is the masterpiece, the courthouse. Elise's embezzlement trial is set for the following month, and it's going to be a circus. The local media is covering it, the courtroom is packed, and everyone in town wants to see how this story ends. I've been working with Mr. Karp to prepare for this moment. We have evidence, witnesses, documentation, and a strategy that's going to destroy what's left of Elise's reputation. But the real show starts before we even get inside. I arrive at the courthouse with a megaphone and a banner that reads, "Justice for Fraud Victims." Completely legal, completely public, and completely humiliating for everyone involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce to the crowd of reporters and onlookers, today you're going to see what happens when the truth finally comes out. For 2 years, Elise Grady stole my money, my time, and my love for a child who wasn't mine. She committed paternity fraud, embezzlement, and assault. And today, she's finally going to pay for it. The crowd cheers. Cameras flash. Reporters shout questions. Mr. Grady, how does it feel to finally get your day in court? It feels like Christmas morning, New Year's Eve, and the 4th of July all rolled into one. Inside the courtroom, things get even better. Elise's lawyer, Mr. Gold, tries to paint me as a vindictive ex-husband who's making false accusations. But we have evidence for everything. Carla, the nanny, testifies about the affair. Big Mike testifies about Brandon's theft. Bank records show the embezzlement. DNA tests prove Zoe isn't my biological daughter. It's a parade of truth that destroys every lie Elise has ever told. But the best moment comes when I take the stand. Mr. Grady, Mr. Karp asks, can you tell the court how you discovered your wife's deception? She announced it at our daughter's first birthday party. Told her friends, told my mother, told everyone except me. She was drunk on cheap wine and proud of how clever she'd been. How did that make you feel? Like I'd been living in someone else's life for 2 years. Like everything I thought I knew about my family was a lie. Like the woman I loved had been laughing at me behind my back while I changed diapers and paid bills for a child who wasn't mine. The courtroom is dead silent. Even the judge looks sympathetic. And what did you do with this information? I left. I packed one suitcase, kissed the baby goodbye, and walked away from the biggest lie I'd ever been told. Did you ever threaten your wife? No. I exposed her. There's a difference. The jury deliberates for less than an hour. Guilty on all charges: embezzlement, fraud, perjury. 3 years in prison, full restitution, and a criminal record that will follow her forever. As they lead Elise away in handcuffs, she looks back at me with pure hatred. This isn't over, Tom, she hisses. Yes, it is, I reply calmly. It's been over since the moment you decided to make me a fool. You just didn't know it yet. Outside the courthouse, reporters surround me, asking for statements, wanting to know what's next. What's next is simple, I tell them, grinning at the cameras. I'm going to rebuild my life without liars, cheaters, and thieves. I'm going to find someone who actually deserves my love and loyalty. And every morning when I wake up, I'm going to remember that sometimes the good guys really do win. The crowd cheers. Camera flashes explode around me. And for the first time in 2 years, I feel genuinely happy. Brandon's business is ruined, his reputation destroyed, his criminal charges pending. Elise is going to prison and will spend the next decade paying back every penny she stole. My mother's estate is being contested based on evidence of her involvement in the fraud. And me? I'm free. Free from lies, free from people who never deserved my trust, free to start over with a clean slate and a clear conscience. As I walk down the courthouse steps, I can't help but laugh. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I prefer mine flaming hot, with a side of public humiliation and a generous helping of legal consequences. Some people learn the hard way that you shouldn't underestimate the quiet guy. Today, Elise and Brandon learned that lesson permanently. And they say nice guys finish last. Sometimes we do. But when we finally decide to play dirty, we play to win.